Audiobook, The Finesse That Caused Damage to Human Eyesight. Now, chapter 1 will be called The Audio Blast from the Stands. Somewhere in there, I thought to myself, like, an audio blast from all the stands in my life up into this given X like mark that says, hey, I'm here. And somewhere in the finesse of being in the stands, like, you played your part. You just kept getting better and better, even if it may be watching. It separated like the boys from the man JV from varsity. You grew up thinking, like, the finesse, sometimes the finesse will do exactly what it say it do, work you until you pretty much just get worthier and worthier of whatever it may be. Some days, that's exactly what you gotta do. Have the proof that you're a worthy servant of like entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship itself is kind of a finesse for what we would call getting to the money, getting to the bank. Somewhere in there, I knew that I had to work my butt off. There wasn't no turning back once you got in the real world. Because people work finesse to the fullest. Make it look good for you, make you look like you need it, you want it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't even no good in the long run. It was just a cheapskate, like a fire escape, to what we would once call the finesse that took it too far. So, sometimes people want to point out your mistakes, but at the same time, when they do that kind of stuff, it symbolizes like error in what we would call the finesse. Most people don't peep the error in the finesse soon enough, but we like got it membership until like this arguably valid argument of what we would call a finesse trap god. Like this finesse trap god, he was mere and vaguely seen to the common eye. You would see him, but not that much. He made much to do with nothing. Even when you would somewhat see him, he didn't look like himself. He looked rather like beast mode. Just this creature that, or beast, that exposed like common threats to like error. A ER grade like pitching a baseball to a bat. Like sometimes the ball would swivel. Sometimes it was just simply finesse to the mid. But the more the game finessed itself, whether offense or defense, who was going to win? Probably the best of the finesse of the finesse. The more you finesse yourself in and out, like the trap guys, it was only a matter of time before people realized one of us was about serious business. And to put it that way, you probably won't hear much about some of the trap guys because they were very low key, very much get it done type of audience. But at the same time, we never knew what happened to some of those trap guys that weren't quite available at certain times of the day. It kept saying like medicine like pieces, but at the same time, did you see any meds? Did you see any healing? Did you see anything take place other than just like being finesse, or we call like this gaping hole in the universe. It sucked out all side associates. Kind of got back like the trappers, the trapperies, the treasure trapperies. But somewhere now, I knew like the sixth god, the sixth trap god that would finesse like for money, paper, cheddar, clout, expose for meteor like showers that nothing could simply keep up with his finesse art. Very strong willed it. Just kept growing into like the superhuman, like six finesse trap god. The older he got, the more you seem like his finesse show up in objects, whether it may be a toy or some type of broadcast or a voice record, police record, all type records, or may it be a medical meteor shower of some sort that the cat just could finesse even God some days on how to be like God, but at the same time, what its purpose, just show you everything could be finessed for something, whether it be good, positive, or negative. Everybody finessed for one trap reason. And that was to get out the game. Like most people, when they finesse the game, it's trying to get you to finesse out like a situation where there is quite like a a sympathetic position to take down like the head or the chief after a while. Once he's been boss, some days they order him to be taken out by the wolves. And at this point, I realized one thing. A wolf that finesses is dangerous to trap finesse six guy. The six could only rise so high. You're right. Once you were out of this place we call America, you had to learn how to finesse even language out of itself. But to say you in every city there's some type guide of trapping, you just gotta be smart about it. Where would most of the finesse end up one day? Probably just soaking for a golden hour. A hyper cosmic sonic speed limit meteor shower that was kind of like a schedule, like in school. I guess, yeah, afterlife, after you finesse this world, will be more like a graduated, like, scale of, like, just all type godism or goddessism. Really intertwining with certain varieties of, like, hypercosmic speed limits of finessing God for that almighty Holy Ghost, Holy Grail.